Hello everyone, and welcome to the Retro Seller, where in today's episode we'll be looking at this, the Neo Geo Mini International by SNK. This was released back in 2018 for their 40th anniversary. It has 40 games on it, which I'll list over here. I'm not going to name them individually, nor will we look at every single one of them when we take a closer look at it. But nevertheless, this also comes in another version, regular Neo Geo Mini, not the international version, which also has 40 games on it, but it looks a little bit different, has a different set of games on it. So this, I got it on eBay for $59.99, which is cheaper than it was originally released at, which was $109.99. Also saw it on AliExpress for $81.69. Walmart had it for $79.99. And I also saw it on Amazon for $59.90. So really shop around, and if you want this thing, you can get it for a variety of prices, but try to get it for as little as you possibly can. It also features a 3.5-inch LCD screen. It has stereo speakers, which are right here on the bottom. Also has an HDMI port, so you can connect this to your TV. And it also has on the sides here 2 USB ports here to plug in some game pads that they also have available. So you can actually basically play it as a console. The downside to this is there are no batteries in it. No batteries that you can add, nor anything that's rechargeable in it. So you use the USB-C port, and you have to plug it in at all times in order to play it, which takes away from the portability of it because you have to be next to a power outlet. That's a bit of a bummer, but it's acceptable, I suppose. So why don't we take a look at this? I got this without a box, so there really isn't going to be an unboxing, but we'll take a close look at the build quality of it, plug it in, and play a couple games, and see if this is something that you want to add to your little mini arcade collection. And here is the Neo Geo Mini International Mini Arcade. As you can see, it looks like a shrunken down arcade cabinet. Here would be the 3.5-inch LCD screen, which isn't too bad. This is your joystick, which obviously due to the size isn't actual arcade quality, but it does function well. It's not clicky, so there's no micro switches on it, but it's functional. This blue button is your select. This yellow one is your start. Your buttons, which aren't too bad. They're not sticky at all, which is a plus. Here's a look at the side of it. This would be one of the 2 USB-C ports to plug in the optional game pads, which you can use if you plug into the TV via the HDMI port. As you can see, I did get this used on eBay. A little blemish on the back here, a little scratch. This here would be the power button, the aforementioned HDMI port. This will be a jack for headphones or earphones if you want to use those. And here is the USB-C 5-volt power, which as I said, has no batteries at all. So you have to plug it in, that being the bummer that I talked about. And that is our look at it. So why don't we plug this in, play a handful of games, and call it a day. After plugging the device in, here is our look at the main menu. Before we really get into any games, why don't we look up here at some settings. Here's where you can change the language, where you can sort to the games, I guess like in alphabetical order or by type. Here's where you can set the brightness, the volume, And that's that. So let's go back. What else do we have up here? The help feature, copyright information. We don't need to look at that. So why don't we just dig in here and take a look at Metal Slug. By pressing start and select, it takes you back to the main menu where we can scroll through here and see some of the other games. Here's all the Metal Slugs, King of Monsters. As you can see, there's tons of games. But let's continue on. Well, that should do it for our look at the Neo Geo Mini International. I think we looked at enough games, so I guess we could kind of wrap this thing up. And that was our look at the Neo Geo Mini International. When I was younger, when the original Neo Geo first came out, I always wanted the actual system, but it was kind of pricey back then. It's just as pricey, if not more, now for collectors. So the only way you can really play it if you don't have that system is to either play it at the arcades or through emulation. But this is a nice little device to have if you're into Neo Geo games, which is predominantly fighting games. But I wasn't that familiar with Neo Geo games other than a couple that I've played through emulation. But this wasn't bad. It's got a few negative reviews that I've seen out there on it, but I wanted to get it anyway, and I actually didn't mind it. Has a really good screen on it. 40 games, it's a lot of games. Again, fighting mostly, but the shooting games are great on it. You can't go wrong with Metal Slug. The football game was actually pretty neat too. The golf was a little but it wasn't bad. I actually am glad that I got it, and I'll probably actually play this a lot. This isn't something that I'll throw on the shelf to collect dust like a lot of the other mini arcade games I have, mostly because it has such a good selection on it. But this thing, I would actually recommend it. Either this one or the other version of it, which I'm sure is just as decent as this one. The bad thing, again, was not having any battery capabilities on it, and you have to plug it into a wall. That's really the only downside of it. Other than that, I actually like it. And you probably will too. So that ought to do it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.